Hey guys, it's Justin here from the Leadr Lab. Glad you could make it. Today I'm going to show you step by step how to use WordPress, specifically as it relates to the Michigan History Web Magazine and your web development assignment. Basically everything you'll need to complete your portion of the website. Now I'm going to start by opening my web browser here and going directly to the site, then logging into the dashboard. So to start that, we're going to type in the address bar at the top Michigan history.leadr.msu.edu, and then we'll hit enter. And it should bring you to here. Now what we're going to need to do first though is get into the back end of the website so we can start editing stuff. So we're going to type / and then type the word admin. And it should bring us to the login page. Now I'm doing this assuming that you've already got your user profile email and set up your account with the username and password that the email provided you. If you're having trouble finding it, the email should be from either WordPress or the Leadr Lab, one of the two. So let's log into the site. For now I'm going to be using a student profile that I made for testing purposes. Name is Sandboxer. I'll put in my password. My 2-letter password that's super secure, and I'll get rid of this window. Now at this point, or maybe even when you go into the login screen, you might get a warning saying something like you do not have permission to edit or view the site. Just go ahead and ignore it. You don't really need to worry about it. Once you've arrived to this page here, the first thing you want to do is to change your password to something that you can remember. To do that, you need to go to the upper right where it says kind of howdy, whatever your name will be, and then go to edit my profile. You can also access this page by going to the profile tab on the left and clicking it, and it should take you to the same place. So this is basically kind of the aesthetic editor for the dashboard. You can select different options here, change the color of this as you can see. Coffee's kind of cool. Sunrise, that's a little much. I like the default one. Midnight's pretty nice too. But I'm going to stick with the default one. This page also has information about your profile, your name, the email that you have affiliated with it, but we're going to want to go to the bottom here to change the password. So when you got your email, you should get kind of a string of 8 or 10 or 6 characters that don't really make any sense. This is where you're going to change that. So you're going to put your new password here and here to confirm it. Then WordPress is going to, let's see here, they're going to judge you here on what your password is, and if it doesn't match, it'll also tell you that. You're basically just going to put in something that might be a little bit easier to remember, and then hit update profile. And it should say update profile updated successfully at the top here. So that's basically how you change your password. Next, I'd suggest that you open a new tab at the top with the front end of the Michigan History site fully visible. So to do that, we're going to just copy the first part of the URL here and paste it in this address line. Alright, cool. I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. The first is so that we can cut and paste material from this part of the site into the entry fields, which will hopefully save some time building up our content. This will simulate you writing out all your research in something like Word ahead of time. The other reason I've opened this second tab here is that I wanted to show you what we're going to be creating today. Basically, we're going to be replicating some of the pages that you see with this Williamston part of the website here. So we're going to be replicating this page, and there's some other pages that we're going to be replicating as well. I also wanted to point out really quickly that for those of you who are more familiar with WordPress, you'll notice on the left here of this dashboard that there's some capabilities that might be a little different than what you might be familiar with as an administrator. The reason for this is because we're not only trying to protect your pages from tampering, as you know there are about 100 users affiliated with the site, but we're also trying to protect the integrity of the web magazine in general. So for example, you're not going to see the appearance tab up here, you're not going to see the settings tab. But there are a number of tabs that you're going to see here on the left. And I'm going to go through these features that are still available today to create this part of the website here. So the first feature I'd like to walk through is the multimedia library. And you can get there by going to the left here and clicking the media button. It should take you to this page here. And you can view this by clicking on the list button, and it will populate everything as a list. Or you can go to the tile button and it will show all your items in a tile format. And I like the tile format for now. Now, the multimedia library is really important because this is basically where all your multimedia files will be stored and manipulated for your web pages. It's also going to be really easy, and WordPress does a great job of this, of adding to this and adding content and new material to it. So if we're going to be replicating or recreating this page from scratch, we're going to need at least one thing, and that's this kind of background image here of this baseball team. So to do that, it's really simple. We're going to go to wherever our files are stored. So I'm going to go to my flash drive here, and I'm going to look for the baseball team, which is this image here. And all you got to do is just drag and drop. Like I said, WordPress makes it really easy to add new material to your library. So we're going to give this a couple seconds to upload. This file is actually fairly large. I think it's about 2 megabytes. And that's one thing that you're probably going to want to remember. Yeah, it's 2 megs. Is that for really good crisp backgrounds or images in general for any kind of web development, you're going to want really high-res images. It's always going to be easier to reduce the size of a file than increase the resolution of a file. Well, actually, I don't know of a way to increase. So you're going to want to start with files that are as large as possible. Well, I'd say, let me back up. You don't want them to be like 20 megs, but you want them to be about a meg or so. For quality purposes. So here, as you can see, we can kind of do some editing by clicking on this button for this image. We can change the aspect ratio, we can scale it to different sizes and whatnot, and this is going to become important later on, but for now everything looks good. Also, I wanted to show you, you can name stuff here. We're going to need this URL possibly later for some other files. You can also delete the files here. Like I said though, for now everything looks great. So if we're going to be recreating this from scratch, the next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get out of the library. We're basically done here for now, and we're going to want to go to the Pages tab, which is on the left. We'll click that right now. And we're going to go to Add New Page. Okay, so part of the reason that I have this second tab open is all I'm going to do is basically just copy and paste the information to replicate the page. We'll do that for the header, and we'll do that also for, for the body of the page. Copy that as well. And we'll put it in this field here. I clicked on this button here because WordPress gives you 2 options to manipulate information in this field. This one I prefer because it's the HTML field, so you're not going to have to worry about WordPress trying to load what the text is going to look like on the page or any images. I prefer to just work with this one for now. Also, I want to point out, you're going to want to, for this tutorial anyway, I'm going to have it be called Williamson 2, because if you have multiple pages that are titled the same, it's going to create problems in the indexing here. And the indexing is right there, as you can see. We don't want to be the same as this one. It's gonna mess up some stuff. So for just this tutorial, I'm going to call this Williamson 2, and we're going to, let's save the draft first. Okay, cool. And the next thing we're going to want to do to replicate this is now add a background to it. And to do that, we're going to go to the featured image here on the lower right. And now we're going to go to that multimedia file. We're going to select the baseball team. And we'll hit Set Featured Image right here. Okay. And we're going to save the draft again. Make sure we saved our changes. So let's take a look at what this replicated page looks like. To do that, all you got to do is go to the top where it says View Page. You can also view page here. You can also preview page here, but I'm going to go to View Page right here at the top. We're going to take a look and see what it looks like. Okay, so we notice that it looks a little bit different than this one, but all our content is pretty much there, and it looks good. Now, I'm going to show you how to get a little bit farther along with this. As you noticed here, we don't have the background that we did for this one, even though we set the featured image, but we do have this stuff, and we do have this. Now, part of the reason that this looks different, and it's going to always look different when you first create a page, is because the way WordPress works is it uses what's called themes to kind of aesthetically organize the entire website. And one of the cool things that we're doing for this website is we're allowing you to pick multiple themes for multiple pages, or a different theme for a different page. But we also have a global template theme for the entire website, and that's basically this one here. And this is also the one that you see on the home page as well. This is, you can see that it's kind of organized like that. It's got this background image. It's got the header like this. This is the global theme, and everything's going to default to this global theme. But I'm going to show you in a second how you can change the aesthetic from this to this one here. So let's go back into the edit page function. And the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to go to back to the Pages tab. And we're going to click on this center button here. Right now you can see it says Default Theme. We're going to click on it. It's going to populate all the options that we have for the aesthetics for our page. And the one that I have on this site here is called SKT Full Width. We're going to click on it and hit Set Theme. Alright, let's preview it and see what it looks like. Let's go back to Edit Page, and then let's try to publish it and see if it makes any changes. You notice that it didn't work the first time, so let's see if it works this second time. Now you can see that I'm having a little bit of problems here. You might have this problem as well, so this is how you're going to be able to fix it. You're going to go back into this, and this is going to happen maybe off and on. Sometimes you get a little bit of glitchiness with WordPress. We're going to go back to default. We're going to hit Set Theme, and then we're going to view it. Then we're going to go back to it, and we're going to reset it. We'll see if it gets fixed. So we'll go back to SKT Full Width, Set Theme, and we'll view. Alright, so now it works. So this is just one of those things that I wanted to show you that might take care of some of the glitchiness with WordPress. Now let's do some further tweaking of the page to make it look a little more closely to what we have in the original here. You notice some of the differences are that we have some kind of discussion elements at the bottom on this second one that we don't have on the first one. Also, the menu is a lot different than the first one, and I'm going to show you how to change that. So what you got to do is go back and into the edit page function. Let's take care of the bottom thing first. Now, if you scroll down, you're going to see this box here that says Discussion. If you don't see it, you can go to Screen Options here in the upper right and clicking on the Discussion box field, and it should create a space for it right here. So we're going to go down into this field, and we're going to uncheck these boxes, and then we're going to hit Update. We're going to see if it worked, if it got rid of the stuff at the bottom. Alright, great. So this isn't here any longer, so it's starting to look a lot closer to what this one had. But we don't have this menu. The menu's not the same. So we're going to go back into Edit Page. and we're going to go to this custom menu field. Now I need to give you a little bit of information about this. Normally WordPress wouldn't allow you to have multiple different menus within a single website, and this is a single website with a lot of different contributors to it. So if we had one menu for the entire website, we'd have an enormous menu with pages from every single person in the class. So we found a plugin that allowed us to put menus for specific items in specific pages. We're going to have to, however, control this. We noticed that with the settings for the plugin, that if we allowed a user to create menu items, they would be able to edit and create menu items for everybody, not just their own account. So what I'm going to have to ask from you guys is that why don't you guys go ahead and make your pages and email us or tell us a brief outline of what you want your menu to look like, and we'll create the menu for you. And then when that menu is created, it's going to populate into this field here. Right now we only have two items. We have the admin menu, which is from the home page at the top, as you can see here. And then we have this second kind of mock student menu that we have here. And as people give the lab their menu outlines, this is going to, of course, get a lot longer. But for now, we're going to change it to Leadr Student, and we'll hit Update. And we'll go to View Page. All right, great. So now we got the menu we want from the first one. In the second one, we also got rid of all the bottom stuff with the discussion features here. But there's also one last thing that the first one has that the second one doesn't have. And I'm going to show you right now how to add that second element. So what this last feature is called is a call to action button. This is essentially a button that will link to whatever you want it to. It can link to an outside web page or another section of this Michigan history site. I should also mention that it can link to multimedia files as well, like a PDF. So for example, it could be a download button for a paper you wrote, or it could link to your resume. All you really need is a URL and some HTML color coding. The way we've made this work is through another plugin that uses CSS style coding to create the button very quickly. To make the button, we'll need to do a little shortcode, which is basically code specific to the plugin itself. This plugin is called Decoded CTA Buttons, and to make it work, we'll need to call out to the plugin in order to initialize it. So the way we do that is we first put our cursor in the field wherever we want the button to appear, and then we begin with a begin bracket. Oops. And then we call out to the plugin, and the short code for it is DKB. Then we'll hit a space, and we'll type URL equals, and then we'll put a begin quotation mark. Now I have the URL for this already saved, but I can show you how I grab it. So we're going to click on this, and it's going to take you to the website of the place where I got all these really cool pictures. This is the Williamston Depot Museum, which is basically a place where it's essentially a museum that has all kinds of history and different historical items regarding the city of Williamston. So it was a great place to go to do some research on the history of Williamston. So I got a lot of these pictures from there, like the baseball one. So I wanted to give them credit, so I kind of have this this button here. But again, this button could go wherever you want it to. But in this case, we're going to have it linked to this website. So you're going to basically grab the URL from the address bar, and then we'll go into the page we're trying to edit, and we'll just paste it right there. And then we're going to hit end quotation. So this section of the code is going to tell the button what to do, which is essentially telling it to link to this address. Then the next thing we need to do is hit a space, and we got to type the word text. And then we'll hit the equals button. And this is basically going to tell the button what sort of text to put in it. And in this case, we have Williamston Depot Museum. So we got to have text equals begin quotation, and then we'll type out Williamston Depot Museum, and then we'll hit end quotation, then we'll hit another space. Now we got to tell the button what color it needs to be. So in this case, I tried to pick a color that sort of matched these other colors in this theme. I don't know how well I did matching it, but what we have to do is we have to type the word color equals begin quotation, and then we got to find the HTML code for this color, or whatever color you want. So one of the things you can do is you just open up a new tab, type something like HTML color codes. Let's see what pops up here. So we got a number of different websites here that give you color codes for HTML, and you can like select one and it will tell you the code right here. The code that I have for this color, I believe, is # or hashtag 24890 lowercase d, and then we'll hit end quotation, and then we'll hit a space, and then we need to tell the button what color we want the text to be. So we'll go type the word text color, and then equal sign, and then begin quotation. And in this case, I just have it, regular old white. And I've memorized that code. It's pretty easy to remember. It's just FFF, and then end quotation. And then we'll end or close the whole coding section off with an end bracket. And we'll hit update, and we'll see if it worked. So we'll let it update, and we'll go to view page. Okay, it looks like the button worked. Let's test it out. So I'll click on it, and here it is. It linked me to that website. So I'll get rid of this extra stuff here. We'll go back to it. So far, this is looking very much like the first web page here. We have the call to action button, we have the body, we have the title, the menu's the same. There's another thing that I need to show you, which is this tag symbol. Now, what I need to tell you about the entire site in general is that, let's go back to the home page. There's going to be a number of different ways to navigate this kind of web magazine. The first is going to be with the map. The map on the home page is basically going to be different pins of everyone's website. There's also going to be another way we can get to these websites. We're going to have a list page here on the global theme here, and it's going to be a list basically of everyone in the class and their website, or a link to their website, or section of the website here. And this is just kind of a redundancy of the home page. We have the map again. So this is going to be, these are two ways that people are going to be able to navigate the website. And here we'll click on Williamston. We'll zoom in a little bit. And here's the Williamston site. And you click on this and it goes to the Williamston section of the magazine. I'm going to go back. We also wanted another way that users would be able to basically navigate this website. And we'll want them to be able to do this thematically, so we have this kind of tagging feature that we'd like you guys to utilize. The tag cloud at the bottom is going to be automatically generated, so as you create and add tags to your pages, this is going to get filled in. So far we have different tags. We have one for culture and economy and founding. I have one for an island. I went to Beaver Island this last summer, which was really exciting, so I made a mock page for Beaver Island. Beaver Island is located in Lake Michigan, kind of between Charlevoix and the Upper Peninsula. Cool place, and I'll take you there in a second because there's something about that page that I want to show you. So we have all these other tags, and the larger these get depends on how many pages are tagged with that specific tag. So all of the home pages are tagged with site home. So that's why you see the most right here. I think these other ones will just have one, but this will change over time. What you need to worry about is not necessarily this tag cloud at the bottom, but the tags at the top, because this is basically telling the browser or the user what tag this page has. So right now, this one's tagged as small town, kind of thematically. So these are some of the different ways that we'd like people to be able to browse the site. So when somebody clicks on small town, what they're going to get to is they're going to get back to the global theme, and there's going to be a listing of all the sites or all the pages that are tagged small town. Right now, it's only one, and it's this one here. And you can see the featured image here, and then you're going to be able to see the page here, and then you can link to it by clicking on the heading for it, and it'll take you there. So these are some different ways that people are going to be able to navigate the site. So we'd like you to take advantage of this, and I'm going to show you how to do that here in a second. So to make the tags, we'll go back to the page we're editing, and we'll go back to edit page. And the mechanism that we have to create tags or to generate them is over here on the right. It says tags in this kind of box here. So you have kind of two options in this case. You can first look, or I would suggest that you first look at to see what tags are already created for the site, and you select a tag that's already generated. So we're going to replicate this one, which is small town. So we're going to pick the small town tag, and we'll just add it to the site. So now it's there. You can see right here. We'll hit update. Give it a second to update. Then we'll go back to view page and see if it worked. So there it is. So you can see that now it's tagged with the small town tag. But say, you know, when you're thinking of what you want to tag your site, say the tag you want isn't available. So you can also create a new tag or your own tag that other people can in turn use. So you just go to the kind of box here for text insert, and say we want to call this sports, and I'll call it capital sports, and we'll just hit add. So now it's going to be tagged with both small town and sports. We'll hit update, and we'll take a look. So now we see that the page is tagged with both small town and sports, and in the tag cloud at the bottom we can see that now small tag is a little bit bigger because now two pages are tagged with small town, and we also have the sports tag added to the tag cloud as well. So that's pretty much how you do the tags. Let's now move on to adding multimedia files into our workspace for the web pages. The easiest by far is adding an image. So I think the easiest way to show you how to do that would be to move on to a new page. So let's get rid of this guy and let's move on to this second page. We're not going to go through all of these, by the way. We're almost done here. For this one, as you know, or as you can see, we have a different theme, which I can show you how to change to. And we have an image within the kind of workspace of the page. So to replicate this one, we're going to, let's create a new page. So I'll go back to here, and we'll go back to pages. We'll go to add new. So let's replicate this one real fast. So we'll take the header here, oops, and we'll copy, and we'll paste it. Again, we'll add the number 2 to differentiate it in the index, and then we'll take the body of it, which, by the way, includes some citation information. I guess I should say real quickly that the best way to think about this assignment is kind of like a paper assignment that you're transposing onto the web. And so you're also going to need to do citations like you normally would for a paper. In this case, APA would be fine. In-text citation would be fine, and that's what I have here. So when you end up doing your pages, why don't you cite them like this, and then eventually you'll end up creating a citation page, which this one has a different theme to it. This is actually the default 2014 WordPress theme, which is not too bad. I kind of like it. So then you should have a page that would be entirely devoted to citations, like this. Anyway, let's go back to doing the multimedia image insert. So we're going to copy this here. We'll dump it in. And then what else do we need? Should be enough for now. Oh yeah, let's get rid of these checks. Let's turn this to student, as I showed you before. And then let's publish it. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, so as before, it defaulted to this one, but we have the menu that we want. The header looks good, the body looks good. Let's keep moving forward with it. So let's see if it bugs out on us again with this page theme thing. So let's move it to the one that I have this one on. It's pretty basic. It's called 2012. It's the default WordPress theme for 2012. Let's set theme, and we'll see if it did it. If not, okay, good. This time it didn't bug out on us, so it looks pretty similar to this one so far. So good. Now we just need to add this image into the body. This is super simple. All we got to do is go back into the edit function, and we're going to put the cursor where we want the image to go. So I'm going to hit two spaces here, put this at the top, and then I'm going to hit add media. This is going to take us back to that media library that I showed you at the beginning. Let me think here. Let me add the founder image of Williamston again. Should go pretty quick. Okay, so we got this, and we're going to insert it into the page. Alright, so it's in there now, but again, we're viewing this as HTML, so this is just the pure kind of code for it. WordPress does allow you to preview it in this thing here, but right now it's displaying the text as white, so you can't see it right away. Let's work in this though. Actually, let's go back to this real quick. The easiest way to edit this now, because this isn't exactly the way it looks here, it's a little small. Well, let's just click on the image, and we'll go to this pencil here in the upper left. We'll click on that. Okay, so this brings us to the edit feature for this media item. What we're going to want to do is we're going to make sure that it's center aligned, and then we're going to move the size to something a little bigger. Let's go to large. And then this link to feature here allows you to click on the image and it basically take the browser or user somewhere. But we don't want to do that right now. We just want it to go to none. We don't want it to link to anything, so we're just hitting none. If you do want it to link to something like a media file, like you could click on the image and then it would just be an image displayed by itself right up in here. That would be the URL to do that. We could also do this similar thing with the attachment page. We're going to go to none, and then we're going to hit update. Alright, so it's looking good so far. We'll go back to text, and we'll hit update. And let's take a look. Alright, looking pretty good. And I don't think I need to go through the tagging thing again. Again, if you want to add, or we suggest that you do, add a tag. And the way to do that again would be to go into edit, and then add your tag in this box here, and then that would automatically populate it right down in here. Okay, so we're gonna just update that one more time, make sure it's there. Now I want to show you how to next do a different multimedia file in this workspace. So I'm going to take you to a different page. We'll take you to the Williamston Today page. And on this page I have a YouTube video, and I have a MP3 file player that you can also use right here. Before I get into those, I want to show you some of the other themes that we have available at the moment for the site. So let's go to Williamston Economy and take a look. So here's another theme, with a different aesthetic here. And this is kind of a redundancy. You could probably get rid of one of these, but this is essentially where this theme puts the featured image. Instead of this one puts it as a background here, but this one, oops, the economy one, puts it here, and you don't really need to do it if you have an in-text image here. That's one thing I wanted to mention, is that the different themes handle the featured image section differently. So this is the way this one handles it, and we got some information here, we got the tag cloud here, we got the menu here. We'll go to community. This is a different one here. It looks a little different here. If you like it, you can use it, and we'll go back to the citation page, and you can see that. If you like this one, you can use it. And we would suggest, for this one, I have a different theme for each different page, but we would suggest that you stick with one theme for all your different pages. So if I was to do just one theme, I'd have every single one of these pages be the SKT full width, because I really like it. But these are some of the other options that I wanted to kind of demonstrate really quickly. So we did today already, right? So that's this one. I'm going to show you one last one before I get into how to do these other multimedia files. Let's go to this one here. This one I like a lot too. This one's called Tracks, this is how it handles the featured image section of it. Here's the menu, all that's good stuff here, and we suggest that you create a contact page so you can get credit for your section of the site. So this is basically where you would put an image for whatever you want regarding yourself, and then you could put like an icon image of yourself here, and then a little bit about yourself here to get some credit for what you've just contributed to the magazine. Alright, let's go back to today, and I'll show you how to embed a YouTube video and an MP3 file. So let's continue with the YouTube video. WordPress fortunately makes embedding YouTube files very easy. All you have to do is either upload a file to YouTube or go to a pre-made video already published on their site. This particular video here was actually made with my iPhone at the Williamston Red Cedar Jubilee a couple of years ago. To give you a little bit of background information about the event, every summer Williamston has this kind of festival or fair right by the football field, and you can kind of see it a little bit in the first frame of the video right here. Basically, they have a bunch of different events at the fair and a bunch of different things that you can do. One of them, though, is to go witness a lawnmower tractor racing event. And basically what it is a bunch of grown men who souped up their lawnmowers kind of Tim Allen style, and they race around this dirt track here in search of ultimate glory, I suppose. And I took this video during one of the races because I thought it was pretty cool with my phone, and I uploaded it to YouTube with my kind of YouTube account. This tutorial isn't going to go through the process of uploading to YouTube. We can help you at the lab do that separately. So for this tutorial, we're going to assume that you have done that or already can do that. And so, as I said before or again, to embed these videos into the website, you can either go to a pre-made video that's already up or upload one. And because this one's already up, we're just going to go to it and find it. But before we do that, let's try to replicate this page for the video. So we're going to go back to here. We're going to update the former one just in case so we don't lose it. Then we're going to go to pages, and then we'll go to add new. We'll add a new page. And as before, we're going to kind of copy the header in here, and we'll put the number 2 in it. And then we'll go to the body. We'll copy the text like we normally have been doing, and we'll put it into the workspace here. Let me think. We'll get rid of these checkboxes, switch it to Leadr student, and let's save the draft. I also got to get the background still, so we'll go back to the flash drive. We'll see, there it is. We'll drag it into what is that featured image? It brings us right to the media library. You can also upload stuff from this. part of the site. So we'll take this, pull it in. This is also a fairly large file, so it might take a little bit to upload. Again, you gotta have like high-res files for really good backgrounds when you're doing web development. Okay, let's see how large this file actually is when it finishes. So this one's 4 meg, so this one's pretty big. This is probably the upper limit of, you know, what you really need. So we'll set the featured image and we'll publish it. We'll see how it looks. Okay, again, looks pretty good. Just defaulted to the default theme for the site. We have the header here, the body, the right menu, got rid of all the discussion information. Alright, so let's go back to edit page. And we'll go to pages, and we'll see if it bugs out on us again or not. So we'll go to the theme for this page, which I think is called Landline. So we'll look for it. Yep, it's right at the top. It's right there. So let's set theme, and we'll view it and see what happens. Alright. So it looks like we're going to have to do some modifications of the background. And I don't really have time to do that right now. If you come into the lab, I can show you how to kind of do some tweaking so that it's not automatically going to the zooming into this part of the background. So let's continue on, because this is already getting pretty long for a tutorial. This looks pretty good. So let's embed this video. So we'll go to edit page. And just like with the image, we'll put the cursor where we want it to go. So we'll put it up at the top here. And then in another window, let's find the video. So I think it's called Rosentreter lawn mower races. We'll see if this pops up on YouTube. Yep, so it's the first one. So I'll click on this, and there it is on YouTube. It'll take a while for it to load, I guess. So this has been viewed 47 times. So this has been viewed 47 times. Sorry about that. It automatically kicks to the audio. The audio is pretty loud on this. Okay, so all you got to do to embed this into the website is go to the URL and copy it, and then put it where you want the video to go. So we'll just paste it in. We'll hit update. And let's take a look. Alright. Alright, brace yourself. We're going to play it again. See how loud it gets. Hopefully it won't be too loud. See how Alright, pretty riveting stuff. Okay. So, I don't think we need this anymore here. I'll X that out. So that looks pretty good. Give me a quick second here. Let me see if I can fix this background real quick. I'll go here first. Let's see here. Okay. Looks like it's fixed. Okay. I think I figured out what was wrong. I had to stop the video real quick and make some adjustments. It looks like what happened is because I uploaded this image already to the media library before this tutorial as another user. You can't see it because I'm logged in as Sandboxer, but I uploaded this image as another user, and I'm thinking that because there were two of them, it was doing some strange dimension settings for the background image, which it looks like I was able to fix by just deleting one of the images and setting the background again. Yeah. Alright, so it looks like it's fixed. So this is the original, and this is the duplicate. So the next thing that we need to do is show you how to do this MP3 player. And it's actually fairly simple. This is what you do. You go into Edit Page again. Actually, what you want to do is go to your media library. I'm sorry. And I've already uploaded the song that I want to play. The reason I did that ahead of time is because it's fairly large, and I didn't want to spend the time, waiting around for it to load. So we've already kind of dragged and dropped it from our flash drive, which is right here. We pulled it in like we normally did for the other multimedia files, so it's right there. What we're going to need from the media library is the URL for where this file is stored on the server, and you can get that by clicking into it and then going to the URL tab and copying the entire thing. So we'll copy that, then we'll X that out, and then we'll go to the page that we want to insert the song and the media player into, which is this one here. Now, like with some of these other features, this is all kind of plugin specific. So we had to find another plugin to play these MP3 files on the workspace, and we found one we liked. And to initialize it, we also have to kind of call out to it, essentially, which will require a little bit of coding, but not as much as the call to action button. So to do it, we begin with a begin bracket on wherever we want our media player to go, and then we type the word audio, and then we hit colon, and then we paste the URL of the file that we want the player to play, and then we just hit end bracket. It should be that easy and that simple. So we'll hit update. We'll see what happens. So we'll hit that update. We'll go to view page now, and we'll see if it worked. Starting to get a little sluggish at my house with the internet. Okay, looks like we're back. I actually lost internet for a while there. Sorry about that. Let me get rid of this search bar here. Okay, so we got the code for the MP3 player here. We've updated it. Let's update it one more time. Yeah, looks like we still got internet. Okay. We're going to view the page and see how it worked. Alright, Kenny Chesney, baby. Great, works good. Oh, the reason I chose this song is in 2010, the Williamston High School football team actually made it to the state finals for their division. And I went to the football game. It was pretty cool. For that year, a YouTube video was put up kind of commemorating the event, and this was sort of the official song for it. So I thought it was appropriate. It's a song about basically guys playing football. So that's why we're playing Kenny Chesney on this tutorial. So anyway, okay, so that's how you do the MP3 file. There's one last thing I'd like to show you how to do on these web pages, and that's create these hyperlinks within the text. So let's go back to here. This is where we're going to want to put it. So we'll go to page. And the reason I'm suggesting this or doing this, hoping that you'll do it, is that we, again, want another way to kind of allow users to browse and navigate the website. So if you're going through your page and you're doing your research and you're making your text and you end up saying something about maybe the city of Grand Rapids, and your site is, say, about Benton Harbor or something like that, what we would like you to do is wherever it says that, which would basically be about here, we'd like you to create a hyperlink that would link to like maybe the Grand Rapids website or whatever it is. In this case, I have a hyperlink that links to a mock page that I made about Ford Field, which is here, pretty basic. This is just kind of a placeholder to show you how to do it and what it would link to. You can also have these hyperlinks go to other outside websites as well. So the first thing you need to do to create a hyperlink in this workspace is to highlight where you want the hyperlink to go. So we're going to want it to go right on the forward field here, word or set of words. And then we're going to move to, well, there's going to be two ways to do this. I'll start with the hard one and then we'll move to the more simple one. So we'll do a little bit of coding again. We're going to start off by beginning with, I don't even know what these are called. We'll type that and then the letter A, which is an HTML opening for hyperlink. And then we'll hit space, then we'll hit title, and then we'll hit equals, and then begin quotations, and we'll type forward field here, and then we'll hit end quotation, and then a space, and then we'll type href equals begin quotation, and then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go to the web page that we want the hyperlink to link to. So in this case, will be forward field, this mock site on the magazine, and we'll copy the URL here, and we'll paste it right where the cursor is. So we'll hit Control V. Looks good. Then we'll hit end quotation. Then the next thing we're going to do, without doing a space, is end that off right like that. And then we're going to type the word forward field again, F-I-E-L-D, and then we'll end the entire hyperlink by doing this, then the end symbol, A, and the caret thing. Okay, let's see if it works. We'll update it. Alright, so this was the hard way to do that. We'll click on it and we'll see if it worked appropriately. Yep. Alright, so there it goes. It goes straight to that other page. Let's go back. So as I said before, this was the hard way to do that. Let me show you the easy way real quick. It's a lot simpler. So we'll just delete all this code here. And we'll type forward field again. Okay, this is kind of where this visual tab comes in handy. So what you want to do is, let's highlight this, go to visual, and it's still doing this as white text. So let's try to find it. Alright, so forward field's about here. So in this view of the workspace, you have some other options here. What you're going to want to do for the easy route is to click on Insert Edit Link. It's going to take you to this page. Essentially, you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to copy this URL again, put it here. Let's delete. We don't need this part. It's going to already come up. All right, and then in here, we're going to basically type what we want the hyperlink to be called. In this case, it's going to write over the text that's there. So we're just type forward field again, and we'll hit Add Link. Should automatically generate the HTML code, which is another cool thing that WordPress has kind of already worked into the website. Yep, there it is. So there's the code. We'll update that again. And we'll see if the easier route worked just as well. Okay, looks pretty good. Yep, and it goes straight to forward field. Awesome. Okay, so we're reaching basically the tail end of this tutorial, thank God, right? There's one last thing, I promise it's the last thing that I want to show you, and it has to do with images and formatting. So to do that, let's go back to edit page. I already pre-made a page so that this kind of demonstration goes a lot quicker than some of these other ones. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Beaver Island page. We're going to view it. So So what I want to show you here is that I want to give you kind of a demonstration about how to get images to work within different featured images for different themes. As I said before, every theme is going to handle the featured image differently. The SKT full width one, let's go back to it. We'll link to that. The SKT full width one creates a background of it. This one here throws it up right here. The tracks one, which I like quite a bit, throws it up right here. This particular one, I think it's called Rectangulum, it creates a banner right here of the image. Now the problem with this is that your dimensions are going to have to be changed for this one here, and they might also need to be modified when you do other featured images for other web pages. I think I might have had to have changed it for this one as well. So you're just going to have to be aware of the fact that you might have to do some image editing to get the image the way you want it to look in the page or theme that you're using. So for this one, if you want it to be kind of a banner like it is up here, you're going to have to change the image a little bit. So I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So let's go to the media library. And so the original of this image was, the full picture right here. And what I had to do is the dimensions for it are 1600 by 1200. And I think the banner dimensions were like 300 by 200 or something like that. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. It's like 1600 by 300 or something like that. So we're going to have to change the dimensions. Otherwise, if you insert this page or this image into the page the way it's set up already, it's going to default by just selecting the top of the page, and it's only going to show the top. So all you'll really see is the sky and then maybe part of the boat here. So what I had to do is I had to go into, and you can do this with the edit image function here. You can also do it in Photoshop, which is the way I did it. And I cropped it so that the dimensions of it are 1600, which is the length, by the height, which is 300. And this is supposed to better fit that particular theme's usage of the featured image function. So once you edit the image, you can re-upload it from wherever into the media library, which is right here, and then we'll go into the page and we'll go back into Rectangulum. Oops, I don't want to change that, I just want to view it again. Let's go to edit page. So the way you do it for this one is, again, we go to we'll remove it here, and I'll show you here in a second. We'll update the removal to show you what it looks like without it. So there's no featured image here basically. So let's add the modified image to the featured image section for a Rectangulum theme. We need this one. Set featured image, then we'll hit update, and in this case I tagged this page as island. So if there's any other island pages that get set up, the Beaver Island and whatever other pages get set up could be all kind of grouped together under this island tag. Anyway, so that's updated. Let's view it again with the new featured image. So there it is. To kind of illustrate what I was telling you before about having to resize stuff, let me go to a different image. We'll go to this one, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's not going to look correct. We'll update that again. We'll go to view page. So as you can see, it kind of chopped off the whole bottom of it, and it's just including the top. So this is just one of the things that I wanted to show you about being aware of when you're using the featured image function on the website, and also being aware of needing to resize stuff so that it works with the particular theme that you chose to use. Okay then, with all that said, I guess this wraps up the Michigan History WordPress tutorial. Again, you can come into the lab and get help on making your web pages for the magazine anytime between 10 and 8 Monday through Thursday, and 10 to 5 on Fridays. I should also mention that the lab and lab personnel are likewise able to help with many other digital projects that have nothing to do with web development. To learn more, you can visit the lab website by going to leadr.msu.edu. So I suppose that covers everything. Good luck on your assignment. Thanks for watching, and happy web developing.